Hey, what's up, guys? It's the Cypher Slacker here, and we are going to look at this is not a combo video, this is not a deck profile. This is simply just use cases for the brand new Masked Hero Fountain. If you don't know what this card does, he is an upgraded version of Elemental Hero Solid Soldier. Um, a much more upgraded version. If you don't know what Solid Soldier does, on normal summon, he can special summon a level 4 lower hero from your hand. And then if he ascends to graveyard by card effect, you can target a hero in your graveyard, special summon it. So it did have some decent use cases whenever it first came out, but now it's very outdated card. I don't even think you'd play this at one of. That kind of stands the way for a lot of the older heroes like Blaze Man, Liquid. I don't even know if like going forward you really play a lot of these. Shadow Mist has its cases, and I'll show you why here in a little bit. But Master Hero Fountain, if you do not know what this card does, it's first off, it's coming out in the Premium Pack 2025, which we could probably expect this card in the next Battle of Legends set. So June, July, August, somewhere in that time range. So it's not far away, but it's still pretty far away. So we have a lot of time to cook with this to see like really what it could do. But you can reveal this card in your hand, special summon one hero monster from your hand in defense position. If this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a card effect or by card effect, you can set one mass change from your deck or graveyard. You can only use each effect once per turn. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some use cases. So now, if you open up with Spirit of Neos and just this, or like if you play one Spirit of Neos and you can't special summon one out from deck, you can get to the Mass Hero Fountain, and then now you have plays. So I'm not going to go through a whole plethora of combos here. I'm just going to kind of show you that like now if you only play one Spirit of Neos, but you have access to Fountain, you can still play the game, which is pretty good because prior to this, we had besides Crosskeeper. Okay, so maybe I should rephrase that. Maybe this card isn't an upgraded version. I mean, it is an upgraded version of Solid Soldier, but this is basically Crosskeeper as a hero. Okay, I don't know why they didn't make Crosskeeper a hero when they made Crosskeeper, but I mean, it is what it is, you know. Um, so basically, what we're looking at here, and this is just like a small combo, just to kind of fool around with this card. But we got access to our Neos. We got a mass change. We're gonna get to Miracle Fusion. I was thinking we could maybe just do something small, mid rangey here, and just make like App Zero. So we now have like App Zero on board. We have Sunrise, and then we have a mass change. So like we could potentially we have a board nuke. So like if my opponent wants to attempt to like normal something something, and then they attempt to make a board, we could just go nope nuke, and then we hit the front row and the back row. This is a very old school combo, App Zero into Acid, but this is honestly one of my favorites from back in the day, just because of the sheer power. Like you were wiping the front row and the back row. Like your opponent is going to have a hard time like responding to this. I mean, they're going to be able to hit the acid, um, but I mean, if Ab Zero, they're not gonna be able to really get that unless they have a called by the grave. It's gonna be really hard to stop. So honestly, I like Mass Zero Fountain just because it really like it makes the App Zero into acid like usable again. Um, so one of our next use cases is I want to look at Fountain and Duskcrow kind of like together. So the new Masked Heroes are fantastic. Like when we finally get these cards, and I mean like not just the physical cards, but like when we finally get all the main deck Masked Heroes released, I think that we're gonna have a pretty solid like pure Masked Hero deck on its own. I mean, besides like maybe Stratos, a hero lives and stuff like that, I don't know if you're gonna need like outside heroes. I mean, just like the things that these couple cards can do is like it's fantastic. Um, but then what's also awesome is we can do Sunrise with this. So like you don't need. I mean, it's two heroes. I don't know why. I always thought that Sunrise was like two elemental heroes with different attributes, but nope, that is not the case. Then we can get the Miracle Fusion. Now with this, you can kind of attempt to bridge. So what we could potentially do, we cannot use this mass change. Okay, this is the one that we set off of Fountain. Okay, we could potentially go Wonder Driver and then go Miracle Fusion. And then reset the Miracle Fusion. And then we can end on like Contrast Hero Chaos. Or we could just leave this kind of as it is and do that. You could go make Contrast Hero Chaos by banishing those two. Which this card, okay, that's another thing. As these masked heroes start to come out and like we get these in the physical card game, you're gonna see this card used a lot more, which hero players have been begging for the negate for years. Here he is. He's right here. He's been in front of our face the whole time. The problem is that we didn't need a negate. We needed access to the negate. So we could negate something and then we could send him away, get out into Atomic. When Atomic is summoned, it can get back Duskcrow. And I don't have any more heroes in this deck, but he would be able to search one right here. So, again, this is off of Fountain and Duskcrow, so not bad. I want to look at Fountain and Stratos, because Fountain and Stratos, or Stratos plus Duskcrow or Stratos plus Fountain is honestly a pretty decent board. Like, but that's ignoring like Miracle Ejector and stuff. Like, I'm just messing with Mass Heroes and Stratos for this one. So like, this sets up a pretty decent board because you have access to a lot of different stuff here. Use his effect, get the Furnace. Furnace gets you to Poly. You then have to discard. We want to keep the Fountain in hand. You'll see why. We go for Poly. We fire it off. We go for the Sunrise. Sunrise is going to get us to Miracle Fusion. And then we're going to activate this, but we're not going to activate the Furnace. You'll see why. We'll get the Miracle Fusion here. We're going to go ahead and link these two away for Wonder Driver. And then we're going to activate Miracle Fusion to get into, you want to get into the absolute 0. Because then we have this set mass change. So you go Fountain, and then you go Stratos. You want to summon the absolute 0 right here, because then you have access to this Miracle Fusion once more. And then, I mean, the summoning of the Furnace isn't super mandatory. But like, if you wanted to, you could. So I'm actually just going to leave him in the graveyard because he doesn't really need to come back. But then we're going to go ahead and activate the Miracle. And then, I mean, you theoretically could bridge into Elemental Heroes here, but we don't have a normal monster, so those are just kind of like meh. But now we have a negate and then a board wipe. So theoretically, we could go into Dark Law if we wanted to here, but just having that negate plus that is pretty cool. And then when you summon that there, here's what we can do, okay? You activate, you could chain block, which will be nice as well. Then we'll activate this one, and then that one activates to set either mass change, or if you want to go for another Miracle Fusion, it doesn't matter. But then we get that mass change recycled. We blow up our opponent's board, and then we still have a negate. So that's just Stratos and Fountain. Another use case for Fountain and I'm going to keep this relatively short here. I'm going to say like maybe another like 2 or 3 minutes. Activating Fountain in hand with just a Shadow Mist allows you to summon her out and then immediately get to a mass change. So with this though, you have really like no access to any way to really like use. But what you could do is do that, and then since he was set, you have access to another copy. I mean, is that amazing? Not really, but I think it's pretty neat that we have access to like the more mass heroes we get, I think the more access we're gonna get to mass change a hell of a lot easier. But let's take a look at what else we could have did. So you could go and just keep the one on board, and then you pretty much have the option um, between the two. I just wanted to showcase like the fact that you can activate his effect. I just I love this new card. I think this card's awesome. Um, but with like anything else in hand, this would be a honest to god like pretty decent combo. Like if you had access to Stratos or like even like Dust Crow here, I feel like would be neat. But then like I said, you just use the fountain to get into the special out the Shadow Mist, get her effect off, and then you basically here just off of those two cards, you have the option. You could go Dark Law, and then on top of that, you get a search. So like we make the Dark Law, and then off the Shadow Mist, you're gonna go ahead and grab a card from Grave. You could even grab something like Spirit of Neos, and then you're somewhat protected, and then you get a search. So a lot of use cases for this card actually. Um, I'm going to show one last one that I've been kind of fooling around with, and this is opening up Stratos plus any way to like these three cards. So like if you open up like a Hero Lives plus Ecall plus one of these, or a Hero Lives plus Ecall plus Rhoda, um, literally any way to get into these guys. So at this point here, we have the option to go for Furnace. It doesn't really matter. You could go Furnace here, or you could go for Blaze Man. It doesn't really matter because you're just going to pretty much use his effect. You're going to go. You're going to actually go for the polymerization here because that's why I said it doesn't really matter here because you're not getting the mass change for that. You're going to go ahead and you're going to dump him, and then you're going to activate the effect of Fountain to get out into the Dust Crow. So we basically just added him back. So we can now have like another monster to poly with. So we could go like something like Sunrise. Now, when you send this card, it's going to get banished. Um, you could even just, oh, actually, no, I lied. That must be whenever you special summon him back. So I lied there. We're going to go ahead and get the Miracle Fusion, and then we can activate both of these effects. So because something was summoned back, you can actually use the Furnace. But right here, we're just going to go ahead and use the Fountain. Fountain's going to get us to a copy of Mass Change. Sunrise is going to get us to that Miracle Fusion. Now, see, what you want to do is you want to leave the Mass Hero Dust Crow on the field specifically for this combo. So you're going to go ahead, you're going to Wonder Drive. Now, when you activate the Miracle Fusion here, you're going to go Absolute Zero. You need to obviously use the one Mass Hero. And then the Sunrise. So we're not going to really use him back. Then you're going to summon out App Zero right there. You're going to recover the Miracle Fusion. And then when you do that, you're going to get back out into the Furnace. You're going to set the Miracle Fusion. Now, you have a couple options here. You could go like one of two ways, which we're going to just shoot for Chaos. So now again we have the chaos, the mass change, app zero, and then you can pretty much like reset everything here. Honestly, I think I'm gonna run this one back. I think that getting Blaze Man gets you just a little bit more. Yeah, I think I meant to get Blaze Man on this one, and I just kind of flubbed it. Because if you get Blaze Man, you have another hero in circulation. Okay, yeah, and then you have something to banish off of the Dust Crow. So don't mind me there. Like I said, this is just kind of like noodling around. I'm not really like practicing like heavy combos. I just kind of want to see like what all this deck can pretty much do now. So I think you shoot for the poly now. Yeah, that's what I meant to do. You shoot for the poly now because then you get into the sunrise here, and then you have a hero in the gray that you can banish to go then Dust Crow and then get a yeah. That's what we wanted to do because the combo that I showed is no different than the first one, and that's not what we want. Um we want this to be a better combo because we're using more cards. We don't want it to be the same. Yeah, so you're gonna want to get the furnace that way. That makes a heck of a lot more sense. I flubbed it. Sometimes that happens. All right, so you go for that, and then you're actually gonna get the mask change this time. Um, Discard Fountain, so that way we can use his effect. Now we can go for app zero. Wait, hold on. I wanna try one more thing because I think it might be better to actually use the fountain in hand and then pitch the furnace, so that way we get more into the graveyard. I honestly might run Blaze Man at one. I honestly might run Blaze Man at one just because I mean it could be Blaze Man. Or this could even be Spirit of Neos as well. You know what I mean? It literally doesn't matter. It could be either or because you're going off of Stratos, you're searching it, and then going from there. So it literally it doesn't matter. Um, so it could be like I said, this could be Spirit of Neos, this could be Stratos. It doesn't matter. So I'm actually going to use the Fountain plus the Blaze Man. We're going to get a couple effects off here. We're going to Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, because this going to get ashed. That's also good. The fact that it sets and doesn't search. And then we have fodder in the grave to go Dust Crow banish Blaze Man, summon out. Yeah, this is much better. You're then going to get the Furnace. Furnace is going to get you another mass change. You're going to discard the Furnace. We could theoretically go Wonder Driver here and then Miracle Fuse and then make the absolute zero. Making the app zero by sending the Sunrise and Fountain. You summon that there. You're going to get the reset of that. And then, I mean, theoretically, yeah, you could do Furnace. Um, so what we could do here is go mass change, get out into Atomic. Atomic will then recover that. And then you could go Chaos off of these two. And then now we have the option between the Dark Law and then the Acid. So, I mean, it's a really good card. I really like this card. I think it was designed really well. Um, I did not mean for this to be a 20-minute video, but I just kind of wanted to noodle around and like see what all we could really do with this card. Yeah. So Slifer Slacker out.